Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. I have a fascinating show today. I've been waiting for this show for really a number of months. It's very tough to book Mr. Wayne Goshkarian on the show. He's so busy. He's flying around the world. And when I finally had a chance to sort of corner him in and say, hey, Wayne, we have to get you on the show, he finally agreed. Wayne's reputation precedes himself. He's one of the leading experts in what I call forward-thinking solutions in the insurance space. And man, he's got a great journey. He's been in the business for many, many years. He has a very exciting announcement today that we're also going to be making on the show. But his company, Dillon Consulting, he's, of course, the president. They're doing so many cutting-edge things. He and his team are remarkable. They have a cutting-edge technology platform. And, of course, what they're offering in the insurance space is something that really the insurance space, being a very slow-moving space, hasn't really caught up with. And Wayne is way ahead of the crew, way ahead of the pack in insurance. So, Wayne, welcome to the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
Well, you finally nailed me down. Here I am. And thanks for having me on and talk about the industry today.
Yeah, it's super great to have you. We've waited a long time. There's a lot of people that knew that we were going to have you on the show. They've got some questions they want me to ask you. But before we get started, like we always do, we pull the lens back to 30,000 feet. Tell us about Dillon, and then we'll get into it.
Well, Dillon Consulting is a consulting firm here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona. Been here, I've got almost 60 years. But really, I've been in the industry since 1977, and I've learned and seen so much evolution in the insurance industry, employee benefits, individual health, enough to have a really good perspective of how behind the times the industry is. And so we really take the lead in really what I call advanced solutions. Because the insurance industry is like a big government agency, and they're very slow and moving. And so that's really our specialty in the marketplace.
Yeah, I love it, Wayne. You're way ahead of the pack. You keep on bringing out new products, new ideas, new technology, different platforms to reach a group of people that really have never been reached before. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on, but let's talk about it. What types of people or organizations or companies reach out to Dillon and they say, hey, we've heard about this new thinking, these forward solutions? What types of companies reach out to you, Wayne, and what does that first conversation sound like?
Well, what's interesting is the insurance industry is in this small little box. And the world, as you know, is changing. The gig economy, working at home, multiple jobs. I mean, the list goes on and on. And so the insurance industry has this little box, and they try to get you in this little box. And if you don't fit in that 4 squares, then the industry really ignores you. The brokerage community, the brokers, consultants that are out there say, well, I don't want to call in that Subway shop down the street for benefits because I don't have anything to offer them. So there's a huge disconnect in our industry. And it's been like that for really decades, to be honest with you, Andy. So we really fill that gap. But that gap is really quite huge today because of the technology advances, the internet, the smartphone, the gig economy, and it's moving far greater than where the traditional insurance industry is today.
Yeah, I love it, Wayne. You not only think outside the box, I mean, you smashed that box. And what you're doing is really awesome because you've been a thought leader in the gig economy for a long time, even since it, began a few years back. And you started thinking about these people and thinking about the fact that they need some great solutions. They need something that's going to work for them. They're gigging, whether it's in the United States or around the world. And you started thinking about what can we offer? What can Dillon Consulting offer that's going to be something that is going to resonate for them, something that they need in their life, something that they're saying to themselves, wow, I'm gigging, I'm doing my own thing, but yet I still have this amazing platform or amazing umbrella of services or products that I can get my hands on through Dillon. So let's talk about that a little bit. That's fascinating.
Well, I'm one of the advisors for the Association of Entrepreneurship. literally been an entrepreneur all my life. And what's happened is we're having a huge sea change in where benefits are delivered. Traditionally, you work for a company, you get your medical, dental, 401k, covered parking, free coffee at the break room down the hall. And the gig economy is you have these independent contractors or independent entrepreneurs that are sitting at home, getting up in the morning, and they have no benefits. Now, what's interesting is there are plenty of people that offer them auto and home and liability, but what about their medical, dental, vision, life insurance, 401k? There's nobody around. This is a huge marketplace. They say in 2027, there's going to be over 100 million people in the gig economy. More and more employees are part-time, seasonal, contract labor. And so it's a big marketplace. And the traditional employer market has been a staple for insurance companies for decades. And they're trying to figure out how to make this transition. And with the carrier partners we have, they're understanding that we're that conduit.
Yeah, it's interesting. The gig economy, you can't go anywhere. You travel around the world. There's people on their laptops, people on their cell phones even working. And you decided a while back that this was going to be a market that was going to become something powerful. Like you mentioned, in 2027, it just blows out at the seams, and you're sort of right in the middle of it, at the forefront, at the beginning. You're a zeitgeist in this space. So for those people that are in the gig economy, what can they expect, when they're offered something through your platform? Can they get health insurance? Can they see a doctor on their screen? What kind of benefits can they get through what you've put together on the platform?
Well, the Association for Entrepreneurship is the conduit. It's like AARP, AAA, USA. We're an organization. We're actually a trade association. And through that, we have our carrier partners like Met and Pru and Zurich and Hartford and on there. And we have developed 15 different products, including an individual 401k that allows our members to participate in on a guaranteed issue basis, just like they did when they work for a company. And we also here at Dillon develop what I call a Amazon-like experience with technology. We're in a digital economy today, and most insurance technology platforms are built by people that didn't get a job at Amazon. Okay. So we really built the technology. So when you really look at AFE as an organization, as a trade association, we have our carrier partners, we got our products, we have our technology, and we can bring that to that person that's working at home, the FedEx drivers that are contracted out, or the UPS drivers, anybody in most states that we can provide a sundry of products in health insurance, life, and disability.
Yeah, that Association for Entrepreneurship is a big deal. Of course, you're one of the senior advisors, behind the scenes, making sure that it works and making sure that all the ideas are coming to fruition. I want to talk about your team, because you have a great team. You have a team of not only people that understand the insurance industry, like front and back, but they also understand technology. They understand the platform, and they understand why it's so important to give something that's simple and easy to use, as well as very efficient products and services to the end user. How did that come about? Like, I know you've been in the business for many years, but when you started thinking about the future, you had to start thinking to yourself, I need to bring a team together that understands all of these different things. So how did you put that team together, Wayne?
Well, all great companies have great employees. You have to have a great team. Picking team members in my industry is, well, Wayne, I worked at the home office. I've been in the insurance industry, but 30 years. Is he a good team member? Well, first of all, have you ever met a client? Do you have your insurance license? Have you ever sold anything? And I think that's where the rubber meets the road, is when a person has experienced the sales process, their perception of what the marketplace needs is completely different. So our team members have a broad experience base, both maybe at the home office, but they've been in marketing, they've sat down with clients, they understand the insurance industry firsthand, and they bring us the expertise that I need my team to bring me to help us navigate through product development and operations. So that's important because there's a lot of people with a lot of experience, but they never actually applied the things that they're recommending.
Yeah, Wayne, it's so interesting that you said that, because we talk about the sales cycle and we talk about how people understand that sales cycle because they've been through it. They're on the front lines. They've been on the front lines, versus people who kind of look at it. They're maybe above it or hovering over it, but they don't really engage in it, or they've never engaged in it. And for the people that have engaged in it, the people that have been it, the people that have been on the front lines, they understand it from a different perspective, because then they understand what those clients' wants and needs are. So that's so important. You know, you travel around the world, you travel around the country. I mean, whenever I call you or tried to text you, you're in a different state, and you're on a plane, and you're here and you're there and you're talking, and you're at a conference, and you know, you're at a golf outing that you're putting on through Dylan. When you travel around the world, what's the thing that surprises you about what's happening in the insurance industry? Is it still surprising that it's still sort of a slow-moving industry, or are there other things that are surprising as well?
Well, you make two important points. I don't know if you ever watched this program, Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a CEO. He disguises himself and he ends up at one of his coffee shops. You know, not enough people in the C-suite do that. They have no concept. It is a fascinating program, and I encourage people to watch it, because what it does is it giving that CEO what's really happening on the ground. Not what he's told is happening on the ground, but he's actually seeing what's happening on the ground. And our team really does that. But part of my traveling, and I just got back from traveling to over 20 cities in 5 days, you know, I listen to people and I say, what are your pain points? Well, the insurance industry doesn't care about me, or they don't give me benefits, or, you know, I'm trying to grow my business, but my commissions haven't changed in, 5 decades. And I listen to that because these are the people that are on the ground doing the work and all that. And that helps me and my team develop solutions for today, not 50 years ago. So what's happening today, right now, this minute, the government is coming in and saying, you know what? We think you're selling junk policies, and we're going to regulate these plans. Well, you know what? These plans have been around for 50 years. They're right. These products, and the only time the insurance carriers are going to change is when the government, which is right now, going to tell them that you can't sell these kind of plans anymore. So I think it's interesting. Our ability to listen to the people on the ground is really the secret to our success.
Yeah, I love it, Wayne. Of course, you have a great story about listening to an Uber driver. I mean, you're the kind of guy that you're in an Uber, you're asking questions, and you want to know what's going on in the Uber driver's mind, and you're asking them questions so that you can incorporate those answers in a way that hopefully will put you and Dylan on the mission to helping solve those problems, solving the pain points. But when it comes to Uber drivers, let's just use that example because I know you're an Uber. I know you listen to them. What have you learned even from the Uber drivers that you've been able to engage with during the ride?
Well, part of it is this inflation's killing everybody. I mean, the average person out there, the politicians don't understand that $8 eggs, $6 gas, health insurance going through the roof, everything's going up. Even though inflation is coming down, the eggs are still $8 a dozen. So that is driving people to the gig economy, supplementing their income. That's one. Two is people have determined that they're only going to make so much money at their job, and the only way they're going to get ahead is to supplement that. And they use Uber and the gig economy and many other things like that to fill in that income gap, to make enough money to put their kids through college and all the other financial needs that they have. So we really have a changing paradigm. And I think COVID really accelerated that. Working from home, not having to send your kids to aftercare or early care, but to drop them off from school. And so we're really seeing a big sea change in how people make a living. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I learned from Uber drivers. It's interesting. The first thing I ask them is, how's Uber been treating you today? Oh, pretty good. Do you do this full-time or part-time? And whatever their answer is like, well, what do you do the other time? Or what do you used to do? I mean, there used to be engineers, retired attorneys. I lost my job in manufacturing. It's all over the board.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is, Wayne. And one thing that really separates you, that really has put you in this different sort of stratosphere in the, what I'll call the forward-thinking solution space in the insurance industry, is the fact that you care about people. And the reason why you ask so many questions to so many people, it's not like this fake questioning where you're just trying to, get some answers so that you can go back and go into your mad scientist room and figure things out to sell something to somebody.
That's true.
You're asking these questions because you really care and you want to provide something to them that resonates for them, that's going to do their life good. Where did that come from? Did that start when you were a young man? Did that start when you were a kid? Did that start when you were raised by, the family in a certain way? Where did that caring for people come from?
I think it's interesting. My dad was not a successful business person. He was I love my dad, and he was a great dad, but he taught me great values and great principles. Part of which, when I started in the insurance industry, I sold health insurance, at the beginning part of my life in the 70s. And a percentage of the people couldn't get health insurance. They had diabetes or whatever. And back then, insurance companies turned you down. And I learned about some products and services and different insurance products that would actually insure these people. So instead of insuring the healthy people that could get Blue Cross or whatever the case may be, I insured the people that couldn't get insurance. And it was a labor of love. Anybody can offer insurance to someone who's healthy. It's the people that can't get it that really need the help. And that really facilitated and inspired me about the forgotten group of people out there. And it's huge. It's the gig economy, the people that are forgotten. Everybody wants to go to Google and offer benefits to the employees. But what about that gig worker that's getting up in the morning, working from home in front of their computer? What about them? And so that's really what drives me and our company and the solutions that we provide. It really does.
Yeah, I love it, Wayne. Of course, you've only cut out a certain amount of time. I want to pivot real quick because we had a chance to see one of these offerings that is being offered through the Association for Entrepreneurship. And the monthly charge compared to the type of value that we looked at was incredible. I mean, it was a package, I guess we'll call it, of all these services and all of these things that people in the gig economy for a very low monthly fee get. And I want you to share that with the group. I want you to share that with the people watching the show, because when we saw the package, we looked at each other and we said, every single human being that can get this package is going to get this package at this price point.
Absolutely. Well, actually, we are just releasing a membership program through AFE, the Association of Entrepreneurship, through Walmart Virtual Primary Care. So, Walmart has decided to get into the healthcare business, and they're a vendor of AFE. And we secured a program with them, but we didn't stop there because it's a great benefit. It provides acute and primary care with a $0 out of pocket. We also provided 450 free medications. You got a doctor, But now what's the next biggest problem is prescription drugs. So we put together through Welldyne a 450 free drugs with insulin cheaper than these pharmacy cards that you see on TV, plus ID protection, legal, and vision for $19.97 a month. So we took these vendors, created a plan design and a pricing that almost anybody can afford. And we are so excited about it because there's 100 million people that don't have a primary care doctor in this country. And this is the solution to deliver that. And we're really excited. I was just off a call with a company that say, why is it so cheap?
Right.
Is because at the end of the day, we cut out the middleman, we leverage the buying power of the association. And you know what? Success is about how many people are enrolling versus how few. Because at the end of the day, many people out there are living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford the groceries or whatever. And this $19.97 packed with all these benefits are going to deliver us a solution to a whole family. Actually, the family is $29.97, covers everybody in the family. So we're excited about it. And as you could tell, I think it's gonna be a great success, and we just released it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, this is a true game changer. And of course, for the people watching the show, even if you're a small to mid-sized company, you don't offer a health insurance plan. A lot of the small companies throughout America, they don't have that ability because the margins are so tight. I mean, for $19.97 or $29.99 or $29.97, you can offer something to your employees as well. So I invite you to think about that and reach out to the association. We'll put the links below the interview. Wayne, before I let you go, let's talk about entrepreneurship. I know you've only cut out a certain amount of time, so I have to be careful. We have younger entrepreneurs watching the show. They're maybe hitting a roadblock or having a tough time. What kind of advice can you give to the younger entrepreneurs watching the show about what it takes to get through a tough time in business?
Okay, well, that's a great question. And people ask me that a lot. It's like, how are you so successful? It's like, there's a couple of things. One is self-discipline. Okay. You don't have your wife kick you out of the bed and say, hey, it's time to get to work. You got to do it yourself. Self-discipline, because you're your own boss. Your boss is not saying you got to be to work at 8 o'clock and put in that time clock. You have to have self-discipline. If you don't have that, you don't have nothing. That's one. Two, it ain't easy. It's not going to be easy. I will tell you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be painful. There's going to be a lot of agony out there, but you got to persevere. And even at my age and my experience, it's not easy either. We put together programs, we work with vendors or big companies. It's hard. There's twists and turns. Even this Walmart program was 7-8 months in the works, which should only taken like a couple of months. It's hard, but anything that's worthwhile and you want to control your life, control how much money you make, it's going to be hard, but it's so worth it. It's so rewarding. And that's what I tell everybody that asks me that question. But it's a great journey, and read my book in about a year and a half, and I'll tell you my whole story.
I can't wait. You're going to give the secrets when you have the book out. We'll have you back on the show, and you'll share the secrets. I hope I get the exclusive on that, Wayne. Thank you so much. I mean, this is great to have you on the show. Dillon Consulting's changing the dynamic. Forward-thinking solutions. The Association for Entrepreneurship is phenomenal. This new offering that you have is just mind-blowing. So I want to thank you so much, Wayne, for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it.